How old's your boy now?
He's just about to turn 16. So he's doing, going to start and do his work experience at a TV studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's
awesome.
really good. I don't know, editing's long-winded.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's actually my favourite part of
I bet you
the whole process, because like I start geeking out about it, and I'm like, I think my wife thinks I'm a bit of a weirdo, because like I'll do something in the edit and I'll be like, that's the fucking best, and she's like, who are you yelling at? Like,
calm down.
Are you yelling at me? Like,
that's what I meant when I said when I watch your stuff, I feel like that you're in the right space. That's where you needed to be. A lot of our frustrations were the same but different for different reasons. Like you hate people.
Well, that's absurd. People are bastard-coated bastards with bastard filling. Exactly.
When it was it's because I cared too much. It was the opposite.
What gives that away?
Opposite but the same.
Okay, welcome back to the I Don't Have Time to Work podcast with Christy this week.
Hello.
Christy's an old friend of Troy's and mine. We work together at a place that we won't mention. But we thought that we'd get her on the podcast because she's got a lot to say about a lot of things, and a lot of what we've been saying has been resonating with her, and she started a business. So, Christy, tell us about yourself.
So I'm a mother of 3, and I've always been a working mother, so ever since the kids were younger, and I've always been in corporate or business or office type environments. And I am a people person, so I'm extroverted and I get along with people actually quite well. And I'm very intuitive, so I'm pretty good at not so much selling, but seeing what people need and things like that. So that's always kind of been the area that I've focused on. I seem to fit well in, and I come from Sydney, and I moved up to the coast about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yep. Right when we started working together?
Yeah, not long before that. Yeah, so, and the company that I was working for, they had change, as they do, and I took a redundancy. I actually think I was a bit hot under the collar. I thought that I was a bit better than what I thought I was. Because I was a bit like, I'll get another job, I'll take that money. But nevertheless, you always end up where you're meant to be. And then we started working together. Yeah,
absolutely. And we worked in the same role for a little while, and then you ended up moving on to a separate within the same business, but at a different office.
Correct.
So what was that move like for you?
The move wasn't challenging at all because I don't have a fear with people, and I generally slot in quite well because I am extroverted, so I can talk to people quite well. So there wasn't any issues with that, and
and it was close to home for you.
It was closer to home, and I seen it as a little bit more opportunity because it definitely wasn't. You've always got your store that needs mending. That was a store that needed mending and stuff, and the actual staff. Actually, the staff that worked there were really great. Well, all the staff were. Yeah. They were great. So that was
it always seems to be like the staff wherever you go seems to be great, and then once you start looking up at the management or above or up there, because they've got no idea what the fuck's actually going on. They haven't been in the store or they haven't been on the front line, and they're just do it that way.
Yeah.
But they
got no clue.
Yeah, they got no clue.
But then they give the indication, give us feedback, we want to hear your feedback, you're on the front line, we can't make change unless you tell us. Yeah. And then you tell them.
And then you put your hand up and then you're a whistleblower or you get fucking chastised for it. Yeah.
So the transition was fine and the people were lovely. And it was what I had envisioned, and actually speaking with Troy before I left, and he kind of set the picture and said, "Are you sure?" And because it was a store that was a little bit in need and stuff, so it was exactly what I thought. Yeah. The expectation was not wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So and I guess that was a part of that whole business and industry. There was a lot of expectation put out on the table. They were very good at telling you kind of. 99% of the time they told you exactly what you were about to get, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So with that kind of communication, they were clear. I think that was more for their benefit than for ours as such.
Yep.
Maybe the people that were driving you to succeed to your goals had your best interest at heart. Yep. I just don't think it filtered up to the top. And that's the problem. I think if any great business is going to do well, it's got to be led by the people that envision or incorporate your values and behaviours.
100%. So, it's the only place that I believe that trickle-down economics should work. So trickle-down economics, for those that don't know what it is, it means that it starts from the top and everything that they learn and know is completely the same from them all the way down to the bottom person. But trickle-down economics often gets talked about in business. So businesses get tax cuts, so they believe that those businesses will take that money and then they will put it back into their but they don't, and that's just the way that it works, you know. But look, we were fortunate when we worked in the office that we worked in. We had a lot of great people who were, you know, Troy was one of those people who
was fantastic.
He was
I frustrated him a lot.
Yeah. So did I, and I still do, you know. But he's all right. He's only got a few extra grades because of us.
Poor bugger, but he was very good. He was awesome leader.
Yeah, and the thing is about Troy is he just never he
heard, he listened, and when you had an idea, he had the ability to listen to what you actually had to say that was coming out your mouth because you're important enough to him.
Yeah.
And if he didn't understand it, he would ask the questions to understand it and then have that conversation because you're not right and wrong all the time.
Yeah.
But having the ability to listen to your staff, I think is
100%.
Yeah.
So you went to this new store. What was your concerns about the store when you got there?
So, as I said, it was not running very well. So that was the expectation. So I won't go into that because I knew it was going to be that.
Yeah.
But what actually ended up happening is it wasn't safe. The security there for the staff was definitely not what it should have been.
Yeah.
And the fact that the store actually... Because what they did was shut down surrounding stores, so the customer flow was massive, which was one of the problems in which why it wasn't running well.
Yeah.
So the customers that came in were very volatile when they had to wait for long periods of time and for public holidays and stuff like that. But once again, I've dealt with crazy. It got crazy at where we work sometimes. So it was worse over there. The winds out to the car park. But I feel like in that situation, if you've got good skill sets and if you've been trained really well in safety and security procedures, then you can take care of yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
But they didn't offer, and the problem was I was looking after kids like they were younger people.
Yeah.
That this was their first job or their second job or what have you, and they had none of those skills.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that other people couldn't see us and what was going on.
Sure.
That made it so dangerous.
So your teammates couldn't see
see us because there were so many people.
Yeah.
So we were like segregated from any help.
Yeah.
So we're in an open space with no help.
Yeah. So being someone who's worked in corporate and worked for like a lot of businesses like this, do you find that a lot of these industries they kind of give you the 4 weeks of training and then just drop you in it?
Well, my personal opinion is no.
Okay.
I feel like there's good companies that run their businesses really well.
Yeah.
And then there's bad businesses that don't, and it's that simple.
Yeah.
So for me, I've experienced really good businesses that have trained me, hence why I got the skills that I got.
Sure.
Really well, but it was in their best interest. They do things like putting daycare centres in their businesses because mums are the best workers.
Yeah.
They see
Shout
vision.
out to all the mums out there.
Yeah, like they see vision and they see worth in people. They invest their money in their people in the business.
Yeah.
And they don't leave.
Yeah.
And then you've got bad business.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
They just want that quick dollar.
They
and
just want the quick.
Those quick numbers and things like
Correct.
that. So you voiced your opinion on how you felt about the situation.
Yeah.
Having been in the past, being trained in health and safety and security and things like that, and you decided to voice your concern. Because
I noticed it straight away that it wasn't good. However, in my own sensibility, you never speak up about something unless it's for a very good reason and if you've got something to back it up, because everything gets political in corporate. It's got to be literally, you got to write your stuff down word for word. So it wasn't until we had a big long public holiday weekend and a girl had a glass thrown at her. There was a handbag thrown. It got volatile and there were hands on. Okay. So that's just when I came home. And I knew what I was in for.
Yeah.
I knew it. It's horrible.
Yeah.
You know that you're literally going to get targeted.
Yeah.
But you know that if you don't say anything, nobody's going to. So it's right against myself.
Yeah.
Because, as soon as you do something, you're going to get hammered.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And because I always choose right over wrong.
Yeah.
And I couldn't just leave it because it would have, you know what I'm like.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so passionate.
No,
it would have frustrated me every day.
I'm not surprised that you made that decision to stand up. I mean, that's the one of the many things that we love about you, like the fact that you're willing to stand up for what you believe in and be like, hang on, no, wait a second. Like, I understand that you do it this way, but this is wrong and people are in danger. You know what I mean? So what was the next step from there? So you put your hand up, had some issues.
So I documented the issues. The issues were hands-on and they were volatile. So I documented and reported straight away. However, after I walked away from that, only because the people that it happened to, and as I said, they've got no experience in corporate. I know if you don't report something within a certain period of time or you don't document it, if anything did happen afterwards, it would never be looked at. So I did that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I took myself away and started studying the company's policies and procedures and just see if there was something in place that they weren't implementing that maybe we could get implemented.
Yeah.
And there was nothing. There was a security badge with a button.
Mm.
I asked the question, how does a button stop you getting punched in the face?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
to answer the question, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Not.
I had some. I'm fortunate because I'm 6'2" and 120 kilos,
Yes.
and I also have a gentle way with people. So like when people are pissed off and standing over me, I know how to get out of a situation very well.
It's funny. He used to, I remember a gentleman said something funny to you, and you just looked at him and he goes, ha, ha, that's funny.
Yeah. I just
sometimes it was rude. Whatever he said, the guy was rude.
Yeah. Sometimes I just can't keep that mask up, and I don't have to anymore because I don't work for a corporate entity anymore. Yeah. Which is also the fact that you're not working for a corporate entity. So tell me about the pathway between speaking up in this industry to now where you are.
So this is my best part, and I really wanted to share this more to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't go well after that with the security thing and what have you. There was an incident with somebody, and I got a thank you much later on about it, and said, you know, I know that you went and did that. And so it's always good after the fact, but I got chastised a lot, and because I did, there was so much bad behaviour that because I spoke up about it, I was just branded the troublemaker and things like that.
Yeah.
So I ended up leaving, and then there was another situation where there was bullying and stuff in a workplace, and it is a particular area that I live in now where behaviours are a bit worse than where I come from, and I think that was a lot of a challenge for me.
Yeah.
However, this is the important part through all of that. So at the end of all of that happening, because I got attacked so much by the majority, even though you're standing up for what's right and you're looking after people and you're doing all the right things, people follow the majority, not the minority. So even though I was doing what was right, I didn't get support. And they were able to chastise me. So by the end of it, things start to affect you about your personality. Am I that? Am I a troublemaker? Am I all these things? Even though you stopped a kid from getting shot or stabbed, and a certain incident that happened later, that you're not, they follow the majority. So it affected me a lot personally, and I fell into depression. When I say depression, I don't mean clinical depression. I mean depression. So I'm just saying that depression is real. Yeah. And I'm not saying that I have that. Yeah. But it definitely felt like that for me.
Definitely, there's. I mean, you know, I've grown up with anxiety and depression all through since I was like young. So I completely understand, and there are different levels of it. So when I got here, you know, half an hour ago, and we were having a chat, and you said that you had some depression, like towards the end of that working career, it almost floored me because, like, I just couldn't imagine you being anything other than this sunny, bright disposition of a.
Everyone used to tell me to stop being so happy in the morning.
It's like, why the fuck are you so happy? I'd walk up and I'd be like, okay, I've got this much of my coffee left, then we'll talk.
I would always see people look at me in the morning and go, don't say hello to me, Christy.
So it was shocking to me to find out that had happened. Yeah. But that was obviously a catalyst for you to
that was
do something?
Rock bottom. Yeah, because I had bulked on a whole heap of weight. And you know me, I'm active and into fitness and all, try and be positive and stuff. And yeah, I was definitely at one of my lowest, which is funny, you know, because everyone's been through things, and I think if I was to speak about my life, that wouldn't be the worst. But that was the worst for me. Yeah. I think because I was so personally attacked for doing the right thing, that I couldn't block it anymore. So I started to believe some of the things. Yeah. So all the things that they were saying about me became powerful. They got their power because I couldn't block it anymore. Yeah. So that was the turning point to going, I'm not doing this, because if I'm a square box trying to fit into a round hole, then it's never going to work. So, and if I'm in these situations in 9-to-5 jobs, and like I said, there's good and bad. Unfortunately, I experienced quite bad. That there's no point keep doing something. Like I'd rather not work and have to live on a tight budget, like down to the cent, than live like that.
Yeah.
And then open myself up for opportunity.
Yeah.
So
that's a really interesting way of putting it. People think that they're stuck in these jobs and they're like, oh, well, you know, if I quit my job, then I won't have... Basically, if you quit your job, you won't be able to eat out, you won't be able to go out on the weekend, you won't be able to do this, you won't be able to do that, but you'd be happy in your life.
You'll be happy. And when you close the door to something that is socialised, so it's social to get the 9-to-5 job and do all those things. If you're going to go out and do something different or go against the grain, that's difference in people.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that it's not going to work. You open yourself up to new opportunity.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
So now what are you doing? Tell us all about this new venture.
So I ended up, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and literally this is how it worked. I can't be like this anymore. And what can I do? Like, it's got to start with moving forward with a career or something change. What are we good at? What can I do? What's my specialty? And it just, for right then and there, money-wise, my husband and what he did for work was very niche.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just like, nobody else can do that. That's a niche.
Yeah.
I can tap into that.
Yeah.
I can get clients. I can get business. We're good business people.
Yeah.
So basically, I just started flaunting the idea around, and my husband is more of the worker and I'm the bookkeeper and that type of thing. So he's just like, if it's going to work, you handle it. I'll just go work.
Yeah.
And then we started our own business, Peachy Pit and Pipe, and it's been flourishing. It's been doing really well because it's a niche.
Yeah.
So it's just simple work, and it's not too hard. Not once I wrap my head around the whole business and running and everything, it's doing really well.
Do you find that being able to step away from the 9-to-5 job has allowed you to then open up all your brain to everything?
Absolutely, 100%.
Because the amount of, and this is just on a personal note,
you can't even really describe it.
Yeah, the amount of mental strength it took me to just focus on one job at a time, and then once I got out of that and had all the time in the world to do whatever I want, I can do whatever I want, you know, like that's.
And isn't it funny, because I know that you mentioned in some of your episodes, you might, because like now, and I'm doing some other things as well that I'm now venturing into, because now that's been successful. There were other parts of my life where I wanted to help make change and things like that, and I'm branching off to other things for myself. Like the business is my husband's niche and I run it and we do well. These are things for myself.
Sure. So you're running Muscle Sistas
Muscle
as well?
Sistas, yes.
That'll be linked down below. Go and check it out, especially if you're into health and fitness.
Yeah.
I need to get back into it myself. I've put on a couple of kilos. But,
I used to try and convert you over.
I know, yeah. I was hitting the gym every now and then, but, you know, whatever. I wear black shirts, so I can hide it well.
Mate, each day. And this isn't about saying that this is the way. It is controversial. It's what I do. I apparently step into things that generally other people don't touch.
Yeah.
And I feel, because that's my personality. So the thing I learnt from all of that, here's the most important thing. So I learnt a whole new world, how to open myself up, exactly like you said. But more importantly, I learnt who I was, because I'd never, like, that was quite big to have that happen for such a long period of time, and then I hated myself and all of these things. I'm going, no, but hang on, I do the right thing, fighting with myself in the head when the depression was there. So I started educating myself, and I actually ended up going and speaking to a personality coach to find out why am I the only one that sees it and stands up?
Yeah.
Why am I always, am I a trouble causer? Am I all these things? And it was to find out who I was. And I actually found out that I'm an intuitive empath.
Okay.
So that just means that I'm intuitive. I can read people. And that's why large groups of people, that's why I get so frustrated.
Yeah.
Because their emotions impose on me.
Yeah.
And you would have known that from service. My emotions were just so crazy.
Yeah.
And that is because of who I am.
Yeah. 100%.
So in a well-controlled business environment, that's okay. But when you're in a chaotic, people are getting hurt, I'm the worst person you want in there.
Yeah.
Because I care about everyone. And then being an empath and having that caring nature, I will always choose person and the right over wrong and status.
Yeah. 100%. That's a really good way of putting it. Do you find that you were able to more so find yourself because you didn't have to like run by anyone else's rules as well? Like, so instead of going into, so when you work at let's say you work at a petrol station or something like that, which I have, and if I ever have to go back to a job, I'd probably go back to a petrol station because I didn't mind it. You know, you've got the uniform on, you've got to speak a certain way, you've got to talk a certain, like you've got to be a certain, you're basically playing a character. Once you take that part of your
and if they haven't got that character built well in their foundation,
it doesn't work.
No, because you've got people trying to do their own thing, and this, it needs to be clear guidelines and structures.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're right. You just, you are told how to do something.
Yeah, but once you take that away and you start realizing who you are as a person, and you understand what you're really passionate about, you can then, the world opens up for you. Everything opens up for you.
Absolutely. And it's funny because you can't teach people that. And the other funny thing is even when we're starting the business and I quit my job and all of those things, you think people would go, you know what, you were so unhappy, you're going to be fine, all those things, and you're starting a new business.
I know where you're going with this.
It's so, like, they're like, oh, I don't think you should do it. And so you get that as well. So it's very hard to, like, build that strength up to go, I'm going to do it. But you put more energy into yours.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I'm just going to touch on that. There is no such thing as fucking job security. There's no such thing.
I agree. 100%.
There is no such thing. Banks crash. Governments crash.
Correct.
Businesses fold. There's Toys R Us just fucking folded across the world. Right? There is no such thing.
Toys R Us are going down.
They're going down. Like, there is no such thing as job security.
I agree.
You have to be malleable. You have to be able to move with the market. And if you don't, you'll get left behind. 100%. And if you can invest in yourself, like Christy has, like we have, like we're trying to invest in you, then you're going to win every time.
Absolutely, because then you'll be able to just swap and change because you've got diversity in yourself. You're calling the shots. You're making the decisions.
Yeah.
Plus, you will work harder for yourself. Like, in hindsight, if I sat there, I'd probably work just as much, if not more, doing what I'm doing than what I am. But I love it. I'm passionate about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
so many of my friends come to me and they're like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? I'm like, oh yeah, I got to work about 15 hours on Sunday, and then like Saturday night I'm going to be doing edits and this and that. And they're like, I thought you don't have time to work. And I'm like, no, I don't have time to work for someone else. Like 100%, I don't have time to work for someone else. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So Christy, I'm going to ask you one more question. Obviously, you've gone through just an incredible journey between with us working together to where you are now.
Yeah.
If you had one piece of advice to tell yourself back then, or to tell any of our listeners who are ready to make that jump, what would that piece of advice be?
I know people say just do it. It's so cliche, and I actually don't even like hearing it myself. So I'm not going to say just do it, but something along those lines is believe in yourself. So in that, me being intuitive and being an empath, I get very sick gut senses.
Yeah. Probably
a little bit more than the general people that haven't got those abilities as I do.
Yeah.
But follow your gut. Because if you believe you can do it, then you can. Nobody else is. People want to say you do good, but not ever better than them. Very rare. Very rarely people don't want to see you do good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I do. I'm the rare because I care about people. But generally, you got to make you.
Yeah.
You can't. Nobody else is going to do it for you.
100%.
And do you know what? What's the worst case scenario? Like, you can plan it so that you've got a bit of kitty, you stop going out and partying and give it a red hot crack. What's the worst that can happen? You still got your skills. You can still go back and do a shitty job. You're not going to die.
That's what I'm been trying to fucking say to you guys. Like, it's
you're not going to die.
You're not going to die. That's it.
Worst case scenario, you will have a bit of fun.
Ultimately, we are indoctrinated into this situation where we believe we're fear driven. Yeah. So if you go like, 100%. Oh, I'm going to go off and do something by myself, everyone around you goes, oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
What if this? What if
all
that?
The negative.
Well, what if you get stuck in a 9-to-5 job Monday to Friday for the next 40 years of your life, and you look back and you hate it? That's the question.
And the thing is now, too, is that we have a chance for opportunity. The internet is massive. Like, we actually live in an age where there is so much opportunity.
100%.
Use it.
Yeah.
It's funny, because with my journey, I was saying to you, you and Troy are very smart. When you started doing your journey and that, and I thought, perfect. They're going to do well. They're right where they need to be. I'm definitely more of a people person, so change and movement is probably more my niche.
Yeah.
And getting attacked, that's also because I'm saying shit people don't want to hear.
Yeah.
But I'm not technologically, my very first YouTube video, my daughter, like the camera was shaking.
Yeah.
They taught me how to upload it, and my son helped me. I'm not like that. That's not probably my area,
But you've got people around you who can do that.
and I make it work.
Yeah.
Like if I do something and I didn't know it was there, I just learn it.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I watch all your videos, all of them. And I say, like, I watched, all the stuff. I learned stuff from other people.
Yeah.
So,
Build your team, learn new skills. You're going to be fine. Absolutely fine. Kristy, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Smashing it, kicking goals.
Thanks again for being with us for the I Don't Have Time to Work podcast. Make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell, all that kind of good stuff. Follow us on all of our social media. Make sure you go over to our Facebook. We've got a group there now where we get to share a lot of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, and we're going to start talking about like how to maybe make a little bit of money online and start getting you guys in the right mentality. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.